there is this train of thought that with 3 or 4 sales, Eze can happen and maybe one more, but it remains to be seen.
I won't be Eze and Rodrygo though.
It can. Actually, yesterday, Sam, just to correct, yesterday evening. Okay, again, don't do that. The Cisco, don't do the Isak and Ekitiki's thing again. We read reports, right? And it said yesterday, it was clear that if Arsenal sell Trossard or Martinelli and Trossard is linked, it will be a winger and an attacking midfielder. That is what it's not Mo. It's not me.
Yeah, and this is the point.
Can I tell you why that's wrong? Can I state my opinion?
I'll finish my point in a minute. Go on, Hassan.
Yeah, okay. I'll
that wrong?
Why, Mo? You see,
How is that wrong?
Ekitike, let's establish something right here. Ekitike is not Eze level and is not Rodrygo level. Number one. Number two, here's the thing that I want, just like this is the thing that annoys me. Saka's the starting right winger, we agree. Jokers is the starting striker, we agree. There are now 2 remaining positions. Are you going to play Rodrygo left defensive midfielder? Are you going to play him in the 10? No. If you sign Rodrygo, you have to play him left wing. Now, if you sign Eze, we all know, as we are seeing even in preseason, Odegaard is Arteta's captain. Odegaard will not be dropped. In order to convince a South American Brazilian player to leave Real Madrid and go to another football club, he needs to have a starting role. Rodrygo will not come to Arsenal to share left-wing minutes with Eze. It's just not going to happen. Eze, you can convince. You can speak to Eze and go like, okay, we're going to play you 25 games in the 10, 15 games on the left over here, blah, blah, blah. You can draw out a map because as a left winger, Eze is better than all Arsenal's left wingers. The problem is you can't sign Eze. There are not enough spots in the starting 11. Rodrygo will refuse. He will refuse to leave and then compete left wing with another player. It's just so illogical.
We had this debate 3 or 4 weeks ago. I agree with what Mo said, and I agree with that report. At the moment, a lot of people are saying it's unlikely, but of course that can change. I think this is Arsenal posturing. I think this is Arsenal saying we're only going to get one more unless we sell. I think if they make it very public that they need to sell to buy one more, clubs will actually come in with lower offers for their players because there'll be a feeling of desperation. Do they get both? I still think it's a slim chance right now. Could they get both if they raise the money? Yes. Where I disagree with your point, Hassam, let's just live in the world where they're going for both. When it comes to Eze, for me, I felt this since the day they were linked to him. I think this is someone that can put Odegaard on the bench. I think this is someone that will play centrally. So equally, as much as you might tell Rodrygo that he ain't going to have any competition, but in reality, he should, because you're about to go and sign one of the best available strikers in the world in Isak, but he's got competition from Ekitike. He has competition.
Levels below.
But that's. I mean, some people will say that Eze is below Rodrygo. In fact, most gooners on the of my shows have said that. But that's what competition is about. At the end of the day, if Hugo Ekitike performs better and starts scoring more, your manager will put Isak on the bench season 1 if he's outperforming him.
I understand what you're saying.
And this is well, it is the same because I think
Odegaard's Arsenal captain.
No, but that's still. I don't even think they have a leadership group at Arsenal, and there's multiple captains. I actually think Declan Rice is a better leader anyway. I don't personally think that if Eze is killing it, and Rodrygo's killing it, and Saka's killing it, I don't think that Mikel Arteta is just going to keep Eze on the bench for a week and a day and a month and a day and forever and never pick him. I think he'll end up picking. I think he'll pick what I would agree with if a youngster like a Waneri or a Dauman, by the way, if one of those players are killing it, I still think he'd pick a more experienced player over them. But I don't think if Eze is killing it and Odegaard struggling like last year, I don't think he just keeps Odegaard on the football pitch for large periods. In fact, he's nearly always, when they're struggling, one of the first players he takes off. As an example, he isn't somebody that he leaves on the pitch until like Saka, he leaves on because even if Saka's playing bad, he can still be a match winner. He doesn't do that with Odegaard. So this idea that Odegaard's position is now done is there. I also think this is just an outsider from Arsenal. I think he'd prefer Rice as captain in the cold, hard light of day. You'd never say it in an interview, but I think he will. This is also a great way of starting that transition as well. If you have someone like an Eze, because Eze can suddenly take his place, and well, you've not been in the team for a while now, so and Rice has been wearing the armband, so maybe here's the time to transition it that way. There's multiple things. Do I think they're going to get both right now? As I've said, I think it's very slim. Do I think they can sell it to both players? Yes, but I have the same energy for Arsenal as I do for you, Liverpool. This idea, where's the balance? Who starts? Where they're going to play all these players? There's 60-odd games in a season for you guys with the Champions League and all the cup games. There's 5 subs allowed per football match. I really don't see that as an issue within itself. 5 subs. And that plays a part. And he'll drop people. The only couple of players I think are pretty much undroppable unless they're injured. Raya, Saliba and Gabriel, Rice, Saka, and now probably Gyökeres.
No, Gyökeres is droppable, but fine.
Nope, Gyökeres is droppable in the world of Arteta.
Maybe we'll see.
You need to remember everything is saying, and then everything you just said, you wake up and you realize it's just a dream. Because the manager of Arsenal is called Mikel Arteta, who has shown zero capability of dropping players when they are in shit form. He has never done that at Arsenal. The best players. Odegaard is never dropped. Saka is never dropped. Rice is never.
Hang on. But to your point, it's fair and it holds water, but you're missing a very important variable. When Kai Havertz, who, by the way, since he's been striker, has got quite a good goal and assist return. But who was the Gyökeres and the Eze on the bench last season and the year before? What players were of that level in the Arsenal squad in those positions that he wasn't dropping the Odegaards and the Kai Havertz for? What players?
Okay, no problem. You mentioned an example when you spoke about Nwaneri. You speak about Arsenal fans all the time. How many Arsenal fans have you spoke to that said we should give Nwaneri a chance?
So I'm going to be fair in this debate. You can't use that as an example against me because I've openly already conceded that with young players, I think he does that because he doesn't want to overexpose them. But my point is this. This is the question.
Why did he do that with Lewis Skelly then?
When did he? With whom?
Lewis Skelly.
Because they had no left back. Zinchenko was injured and Calafiori was injured.
Really? So did they have a right winger when
and he killed it? And he killed it.
Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Hang on,
guys, please.
Okay, hold on. Terry, I'm gonna get the fact. I want to say the fact.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Terry. I want to say the fact. Guys, Nwaneri minutes last season equates to third of the league. 11 games. Can we just put that? And 18 years old, his minutes equates to third of the Premier League games.
Okay.
Just
yes.
That out there.
So, but also he's a case in point that he came in for some players that were playing badly and were injured, and he maintained a position in the starting lineup. But my question is to you: when was the last time he was picking a struggling Kai Havertz or a struggling Odegaard over players of Eze and Gyökeres' quality? When was this happening?
I understand what you're saying. I'm not denying that. That's your argument. That's not mine. I'm saying based off of the evidence over the last 5 years, Arteta does not drop the players that he likes or his best players, even with having the chance to do so or not having the chance to do so. Whether the player is playing really badly or playing really well. It doesn't have to be just your version of things. It's my
version. It's not. No,
yeah, because you're saying when has he had the opportunity to do this? Never. I got that point. He's never had that opportunity, but that's not my argument. I'm saying something different. I'm saying because the guy is not going to drop his captain, who he's played number 10 for the last 4 or 5 years consistently. I cannot see a world in which you speak to Eze, you speak to Rodrygo, and you tell them you're going to share left wing minutes because Odegaard is my 10. And guess what, Eze? You're going to play if Odegaard gets injured. That's not selling a player a project.
So where I think you've proven my point is there is your example that there's no proof that he would drop the players that he prefers. Again, yes, when he doesn't have the quality of Eze's and Gyökeres's and Rodrygo's in his squad. He's had Fabio Vieira's and he's had Gabriel Jesus's have been out injured a lot of the time. They've been his backup options to these players in recent years, as an example. I think with higher quality, there's against the theory because he hasn't been in that position. So to say there's no evidence of it is the truth because he hasn't had a squad of that depth. And it's been one of the biggest things that Arsenal fans have complained about. Equally, when it comes to sharing minutes, it's going to happen anyway. This is where I think you know, we've criticized him before for overplaying players. Now we're saying, well, we've got to criticize him at the idea that he's going to rotate and make people share minutes. That's what he should be doing. I think he's learning. I think having someone like Berta come in, it's why they're buying so many players this summer. I think the reason why people like Berta are important, we said it at the top of the show about sporting directors, is you need someone of high caliber in your ear. And I think you will see that variation. And it's important to keep a team strong. It's one of the reasons why you guys have gone out this year and you're buying 2 attackers for the same position, because you know that versatility is needed, you know that backups are needed, and rotation is key. Because what you guys are going for this year isn't to win the Premier League. You're trying to win multiple trophies in one season. You haven't won a league title, won another trophy for the best part of 40 years. And that is what you're aiming for. So again, to the point in this, whether they bring 2 in or not, we'll see. The idea that it can't be sold to the players, I just fundamentally disagree that it can't be sold to them. I don't believe that Rodrygo is going to go, look at that really strong squad that could win the league. I'm not going to join it because I might not play. I think a player like Rodrygo is going to say, I fancy my chances of being in that first team. Hugo Ekitike would have known for a fact. You guys would have told him, we're also going for Isak. I don't think you'd have lied to him. Because if you'd have lied to him, he might be in a bad mood now. What's he gone and done? Fucking well up for that challenge. That's how most high-level professional football players think. Man United went for a 10-year period where our players cried when we signed a competition for them. That shows that makes him a bad player. If Rodrygo doesn't want to have people breathing down his neck for his position, you shouldn't sign him anyway. That tells me you're not elite level if you're scared of competition. So I don't see that as an argument. If they saying they don't have the pull for it and he'll pick a bigger team, that holds more water in my opinion than the idea that the player will be put off by the idea of having Eze breathing down his neck. I don't think that will put him off.
We already know that for a fact. That's what the Marca radio came out and said. The Ramon guy with 600,000 followers came out and said his preference is Liverpool, but that's not the point. As things stand right now,
what if you're not in for him and you spend the money on Isak?
That's the point I just made. Thank you for interrupting for no reason. When I interrupt to make a different point. Anyway, so back to the topic.
So why did you say that his preference is Liverpool? What did we gain on this claim from me and say
Terry mentioned preference?
There are other sources that said that he's willing to join Arsenal.
Anyway, as I was saying, I think Arsenal
ridiculous.
I think Arsenal gonna end up with one of them. I don't think Arsenal gonna end up with both. I think it's just not possible for Arsenal to end up with both.
What you're saying is possible. You're just throwing darts in the air, hoping that one stick. Yeah, Liverpool are not going to sign Isak and Ekitike. I don't think Arsenal are going to end up with both. Even though reports,
why would I hope that stick?
Even though reports are just stating that Arsenal might sell Trossard to Borussia Dortmund and go for 2 players. By the way, that is not our opinion. By the way, I'm gonna speak for myself. Forget Terry. That is not my opinion. I am like you. I read reports and I make opinion and then I debate them. My point about it is that I think Arsenal, in my opinion, can end up with both. Reports are saying that they can end up with both. It's a slim possibility.
My opinion is the opposite.
Your opinion is the opposite, but the report's saying otherwise.
Not trying to make a dart stick or whatever. That makes no sense.
You're like, I don't think that they're going to end up with both. That is fine. But in the same time,
I don't think so. I give my reasons for it.
If they sell,
you're telling Rodrygo to leave Real Madrid bench
and go to be the starting line.
No, but no one has said that. The thing is, for Sam, we're going to move on from this. The thing is, for Sam, they may not end up getting him, but it doesn't make you right. For you to be right, it has to come out that the reason he said no is because he didn't want competition from Eze and Madueke.
That's not my argument either.
But the argument is, we all agree that he could reject Arsenal, but your point is that you can't sell it to both. That you can't sell to him and Eze coming because there's not enough position for them both to play. The only way you're right is if that is a specific reason given by the media for him not joining. Him not joining is a possibility that me and Mo agree with. You can't be right just because he doesn't join. It has to be for the specific argument you've made around competition for places.
I don't think it's
and maybe
argument.
sitting on the bench.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Rodrygo will not join Arsenal unless he is the de facto starter.
He is going to be,
and he will be the starting left winger for Arsenal.
And yes, if they sign Rodrygo, I don't think they sign Eze. If they sign Eze, I don't think they sign Rodrygo.
But I think they need a midfielder.
Out of the remaining starting positions, the only position left to completely upgrade on is left wing. Now, if you have a striker like Gyökeres, you sign a left winger like Eze, perfect. That now you can create chances for Jokeris. Jokeris are going to start scoring goals. So yeah.
Viewers, we're going to go to some of your super chats.